Let's get some business news for you now. Kate Moody is here with us. And Kate, you've been taking a closer look at some of the measures governments around the world are taking to try and protect economies from the fallout of the coronavirus.
Absolutely. There's so much talk of a pending recession as the outbreak turns into a pandemic. A lot of pressure on governments and central banks to take action. And we have seen measures being announced from China and Japan to Italy and the UK. Ensuring that affected workers will be guaranteed sick leave is a priority, especially in the United States. Well, across the globe, the private sector is also on the front line, with many businesses encouraging employees to work from home if at all possible. In an effort to help coordinate the needs and responses of the international business community, the World Economic Forum has launched an action program. And to learn more about it, we can cross to Geneva to speak to Arnaud Bernaert, head of global health and healthcare at the World Economic Forum. Thanks for joining us this evening. Explain to us a little bit about how this program will actually work to protect businesses and jobs.
Thank you very much, Kate. The way it's going to work is not by creating a new mechanism or substituting all the work that overall international organizations are doing. I think we realize that over the past 7 weeks we have been approached by so many constituents, partners or non-partners, with innovative initiatives or willingness to contribute or ideas where actually activities could be organized. And this is not going to work in silos. It needs to be, it deserves a better coordination mechanism. And this is what the platform we are launching today is going to do.
Is there a special focus to protect people in those so-called vulnerable jobs? The gig economy in particular is being singled out as being at risk?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that platform is totally inclusive. I can't insist enough on the fact that not only the partners of the forum are welcome to contribute initiatives on the platform, but also organizations that are not partnering with the forum are absolutely welcome. And we will work in the true spirit of the World Economic Forum, bringing in civil society, international organizations, social entrepreneurs, you name them. So absolutely, I think the principles of equity, access, and affordability for every population in the world are going to be paramount.
What's the biggest risk to businesses around the world in this pandemic?
Well, the biggest risk is what we have seen over the past few days is about the market crash down and supply chains being interrupted. And frankly speaking, business continuity being at risk, which in turn is threatening livelihoods globally. Also, one of the big risks would be for the private sector to miss an opportunity to contribute meaningfully to the response. That's what we're trying to organize with the platform.
And what about from the health point of view? Could this change the way countries like the US, for example, approach their healthcare policies?
Well, we're not getting into the territories of policies. I mean, governments are implementing their own measures, including non-pharmaceutical interventions, and depending on the stages of crisis, we have to trust that they take the right decisions. I think in this particular case, what we think about is how the private sector can contribute to the response, not only by being better informed, but also by making better decisions, and frankly speaking, also making commitments to lead projects and initiatives that can meaningfully change the outcome.
All right, Arnaud Bernaert, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us from the World Economic Forum.
Thank you very much.
Well, global stock markets have accelerated their losses since the virus was officially deemed a pandemic earlier on Wednesday. On Wall Street, we're seeing losses of over 5% across the board. The Dow Jones has lost 1,400 points. That's over 6% in the red this hour. It's about 20% below the most recent highs. That would officially be defined as a bear market. We've got a little less than an hour of trading to go on Wall Street, so we'll be bringing you the closing bell there later on. Travel stocks, again, the biggest losers, airlines down around 7%, cruise companies even more. Well, trading has been suspended in Sao Paulo for the second time this week as Brazilian stocks plunged more than 10%. Monday saw a 12% drop. Brazil has formally cut its economic growth forecast for the year ahead because of the virus. That announcement coming on Wednesday. For now, there are no deaths in Brazil, but the economy has been especially hard hit because its largest trading partner is China. Earlier, we saw the major European indices closing lower once again. The FTSE 100 with fairly sharp losses, nearly 1.5% there, despite coordinated measures being announced by the Bank of England and Chancellor of the Exchequer to support British businesses and consumers against the impact of the virus. Well, the U.S. Treasury Secretary says the Trump administration plans to delay the April 15th deadline for Americans to file their taxes. Steve Mnuchin said the move would be part of a broader plan to mitigate the effects of the virus on businesses and individuals in the U.S. Extending the deadline could act as a bridge loan of sorts, allowing people and businesses to plug any holes in their finances for the short term. The U.S. Treasury Department, meanwhile, could be forced to borrow more money if it doesn't collect taxes as usual. More broadly, though, U.S. lawmakers are facing criticism for politicizing their response to the coronavirus. Both Republicans and Democrats are unveiling separate measures. They'll need to reach an agreement in order for them to take effect. The White House is pushing a payroll tax cut. There are also calls for moves that would expand paid sick leave for workers. Few details for now, and that's really adding to investors' concerns. All eyes trying to check out, Laura, whether lawmakers in Washington will be able to coalesce and put forward some sort of action plan, perhaps something like what we've seen in London today.
All right, Kate, thanks very much indeed. Kate Moody there. Let's get some